Hello everyone, welcome back to Weaving Web3. We are live at ETH Milan and I'm here with a really exciting guest, Andre, head of DeFi at Li.Fi. What is Li.Fi and why do we need Li.Fi?
Hey there, thanks for having me. I know that we really tried to do this interview for such a long time.
I know.
So great to be here. Li.Fi, think of it as a cross-border railway system.
Okay.
So you can think of it that as you have like many countries and you have a railway system going from one country to the other. However, you can also go within the country from one town to the other. That's what basically Li.Fi is doing. We're aggregating liquidity sources, same chain, we're aggregating cross-chain liquidity sources, the bridges, and we're unifying this liquidity through, the bridges, the DEXs, the DEX aggregators, the solvers for all the chains. So at the end of the day, it's an any-to-any swap. You have token on chain A and you want to get a token on chain B. We're going to find the best quote, offer you the best quote, and help you execute that transaction.
Okay, why do we even need it? Why should I put my trust into you to get me the best prices? Why should I not just bridge on a bridge and then do my DeFi experience?
I mean, that's a good question, but there are like 50 bridges right now, if not more. So, good luck going manually, individually, or even writing a script to get the best quote from all the bridges. And after you get the best quote, you probably need to do a swap because there might not be the native asset that you have on the destination chain. So we are aggregating all those bridges, all those same chain liquidity sources, so it's easier and more seamless for the user to actually do their DeFi activities.
Do you think that this is something that will be like helping in the mass adoption setting? Because I, as a degen, I love doing my own research, go do exactly the manual thing of bridging, find the best quotes. But at the end of the day, sometimes all that research and digging makes me go crazy, and as well as the quotes will expire. Okay, it's not going to be as expensive. And I've used I'm honest, I've used Li.Fi so many times because the experience is so seamless and so easy that you don't need to think, and then I can carry on my DeFi experience elsewhere. And I guess the whole problem issue is that fragmented liquidity on all the chains is an absolute nightmare. And I guess solving that issue at the forefront will just ensure that early adoption to the more people that don't have the time or have no way to understand how to bridge from chain A to chain B, right?
Exactly. It is about fragmentation of liquidity. So maybe like a few years ago, you could have just, went to Uniswap and do your trade. Or there was one bridge or like a few liquidity bridges and a few canonical bridges. But now there are so many other solutions like DEX aggregators, like solvers, like bridges that have different kind of technology. How do you pick and choose which is the best one or the safer one than the other? Like for the bridging part, we've put a lot of research and we actually wrote the cross-chain bridge risk framework, which basically says that there isn't the safest bridge. There are bridges that are safer than the others.
Absolutely.
So based on that and taking into consideration things like gas efficiency, speed, costs of execution, we calculate everything into our routing algorithm, and then we give you the best quote and the best path for the transaction that you want to fulfill.
Okay, so as a user or a developer, how would you like to see users to, let's say, integrate your protocol, or as well as onboard the next users into understanding the cross chains and DeFi aspect of it?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, Li.Fi is a B2B company. So if you ever have done any sort of transaction in DeFi, you've probably interacted with us in one way or the other. So we're powering the swaps or the bridge or the swap bridge swap in all of the big wallets. We have over 250 B2B partners that are using us for any-to-any swaps. So it's very likely that you've interacted with the Li.Fi SDK, API, or widget before. So if you're a DeFi dApp that wants to offer bridging, swaps, or zapping into their own protocol, and by zapping, I mean do any sort of action. So you have token on chain A and you want to end up in the liquidity pool, or you want to end up by opening an LP position, you can do that with our technology. On the end user side, we also have our flagship product, Jumper.exchange, which offers a showcase of the Li.Fi technology.
Yeah, absolutely. So within that whole ecosystem branch, where would you like to see yourself positioned, let's say, in a year's time? Where has the infrastructure, where have you been able to essentially incorporate your technology to advance, let's say, the DeFi experience further? Like, is it just going to be the current state we're in now, or have you got, let's say, potentially new kind of like products that will essentially enable users to do new things that are currently not possible?
Yeah. Our sole mission was and will be on aggregation. So we're not picking winners, we're not taking parts, we just want to cater the best possible experience for the user, which means that we will further continue to be very focused on aggregation of liquidity, fragmentation of liquidity, and how we can solve that problem by aggregating and offering the best quotes for the user. So for us, where we stand in the system, it's pretty simple, because we want to be the infrastructure for the builders and for the end user for bridging and swapping.
Okay, so with that aspect in mind, where would you think, as let's say, as myself, as a user who heavily wants to start exploring the multi-chain architecture and the possible like liquidity options on different chains, how right now I struggle to find sometimes the best options. Is there a possibility that you could enable me to say these are the best options to, let's say, the highest yielding liquidity pools at this time, and then I can zap into them?
Yeah, exactly. So for us, our algorithm will always provide the best path.
Okay.
For you as a builder, let's say you're a lending protocol or you're a yield aggregator, and we have many partners that are, building such projects. We take care of the swapping, the bridging, the swapping, and the zapping.
And we don't need to think on my part.
Exactly. And you have a very seamless experience into any kind of DeFi activity that you want to have. I don't know, like maybe you want to open a perpetual swap position, for example. Well, you don't have the underlying asset, you only have USDC on Ethereum mainnet. Well, even if the destination chain is Arbitrum and the base asset is USDT, we'll handle everything in the background for the user.
Oh, that's perfect. Is it just essentially that seamless, not even thinking about what's going on in the background is the way that we reach to mass adoption, right?
Exactly.
And if there's anything that, let's say, we haven't mentioned or haven't asked yet, you really want to get out to the audience to say, this is us, this is our vision, this is what we want to do, or anything that you think is really valuable for people to know.
I mean, we know that liquidity is very fragmented. The user has nowadays too many options. There's always a new chain, a new DEX, a new bridge technology. We're curating everything for the user in one place, in one API, in one SDK, in one widget, in one front end and interface, so that the user doesn't have to go and run after and do like hundreds of hours of research of, about the safetiness of a protocol, about the speedness, the gas intensity of such and such. So I guess that, that's our secret sauce, the routing algorithm. So you can rely on us making sure that we will provide the best quotes that are available at the time of the trade.
So it seems like you're becoming the one app to rule them all in the sense of the swapping and bridges, right?
I haven't said that.
That's the dream. Okay, I was getting that from your head, but like, it does seem like that is one of the biggest issues that we are struggling with in the whole space of the just people not knowing where and what to do, right?
It is.
And where do you think when we sit down here in a year's time, where are we? What are you guys doing?
I mean, good question. So look, for the past, I guess, 3 years, everything was so focused on cross-chain swaps and interoperability. For the past 12 months, we're seeing this shift, which goes back to same-chain swaps. Now we're seeing technologies like intent, solvers, which are also expanding now cross-chain. So I guess that we are going easily into a direction of maybe off-chain components in which the user has a better experience, but we're, you know, kind of doing a compromise on the decentralization part. You know that we have that trilemma about security, decentralization, and for us, like, we are here to serve the user. Like, we cannot, if it's not decentralized enough, if it's safety enough, you know, it should be not good enough, but that's where the industry is going right now.
I totally understand, and I think that is the problem that people need to decide for themselves. Safety is important, decentralization is important, but if you're offering a flagship product that is helping the DeFi system at large, I think it is a net positive, no matter sometimes the trade-offs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And to kind of like finish off, is there anything in the closing remarks that you want to just drum into people, being like, this is what you need to know?
So we're doing the alpha leak at the end, right?
Oh, you can do it if you have anything that you can alpha leak it.
I mean, look, like, we know that we're good at what we're doing, and we try to get always better. For us, we know that liquidity fragmentation is a huge problem that we're trying to solve. We have very good developer tools. We have a team of dedicated engineers that's here to help any type of builder that wants to build a cross-chain app or a same-chain app. We can help by advising on anything from, you know, swaps to zaps to how to build such a tool using our API.
Damn, bam, there you go. The one app to rule them all. This
you.
was Weaving Web3 with Li.Fi at ETH Milan. Thank you very much. Bam. Finally nice to meet you properly.